Welcome to day 10 of the 12 Days of Data Storytelling, where I take ideas and concepts from my new book, Effective Data Storytelling, to share with you. Now, on day 10, I want to talk about a common task that we have when we're telling data stories, which is to facilitate comparisons with our visualizations. I believe that that is a core focus of data storytelling. We don't necessarily need to overwhelm people with really fancy visualizations. At the end of the day, we're just trying to facilitate comparisons that the audience can make so they can see insights in the data as easily as possible. And one of the most helpful tools that I've found is the Cleveland-McGill graphical perception model. And this was a model that was developed in the mid-'80s by two AT&T Bell Lab statisticians by the name of William Cleveland and Robert McGill. And they did this study because they found that a lot of the basis for choosing certain charts was not based on empirical evidence. What they wanted to do is make it more scientific. And so they went in and they identified 10 different perceptual tasks that spanned across all of the graphs and charts that people were using. So one was position along a common scale, position along an unlined scale, length, direction or slope, angle, area, curvature, volume, shading, and color saturation. They found that the position along a common scale or unaligned scale were the easiest or most accurate for people to make comparisons. Whereas on the other end of the scale, the perceptual tasks, they found that they got harder and harder to make accurate comparisons. You can make high-level comparisons with shading or color saturation. This model explains why bar charts are so effective, is because they have that position along a common scale or unaligned scale built into them. Whereas a pie chart or a donut chart, they struggle a little bit more with making or facilitating comparisons because they're a combination of angle and area. And also another thing is when we look at our charts and graphs, there may be multiple perceptual tasks going on. So if you look at a stacked bar chart or column chart, with the values at the bottom that are closest to the baseline, they are easy to compare because they have that position along a common scale. However, the values stacked above them are harder to compare because the only way we can compare them is by length. We don't have that common scale. With the Cleveland and McGill graphical perception model, I found it easier to understand how my visualizations are going to communicate. I can evaluate them and see, am I facilitating the comparisons that I want my audience to see, or am I making it more difficult? And that leads to better visualizations, better data storytelling. I look forward to sharing more with you in day 11 of the 12 Days of Data Storytelling. Stay tuned.